You think about all the different things that can own you from day to day, like grief, worry, anxiety, fear, guilt, death, fear of death, the types of things that, by own you, I mean they have some sort of control over you. They restrict you from moving forward in life as freely or as joyfully as you would like to be. Psalm 24 gives us at least one way to deal with all of those things, no matter what it is that's owning you. Psalm 24 starts out by saying, "The earth is the Lord's and everything in it." And so it's reminding us of what the Lord owns. And the answer to the question, what does the Lord own, is absolutely everything. And think about all the different ways that Jesus showed his ownership over absolutely everything over the course of his ministry. He showed his ownership or his control over nature as he calmed the storm. He showed his ownership or control over sickness as he gave cripples the ability to walk again, and he gave the blind the ability to see, and the deaf the ability to hear, and the mute the ability to speak. He showed his control or his ownership over death when he brought Lazarus out of the grave, as well as many others. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it. God has ownership or rights or control over absolutely everything. But there's one thing that all of those moments of showing his control over nature, over sickness, over death had in common. Jesus always did it for the benefit of somebody. He calmed the storm because his disciples were afraid. And he didn't want them to be afraid anymore. He gave the cripple the ability to walk again because he loved the cripple and he wanted him to walk again. He raised Lazarus from the dead because he not only loved Lazarus, he loved Lazarus' sisters, Mary and Martha, and Jesus was weeping there right alongside of them. Jesus always used his control to benefit somebody. And that brings the second half of verse 24 into light. So I quoted for you the first half, "The earth is the Lord's and everything in it." That's the first half. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it. Here's the second half. The world and all who live in it. All who live in it. And that's you. The Lord owns you. And not in a bad way at all, not in an oppressive way, but in the very best way. In a way that a mother who's holding their baby owns, in a sense, their child. The sense that that child belongs to them. And that mother takes the care of that child very seriously. That's what it means that all who live in the world belong to God. He takes his care of you very seriously. And remember how it is that he owns us. You were bought at a price, the Bible says. You were bought at a price. And what was the price? It was Jesus. Every last bit of him. All of him. That's what you are worth to God. That's what it was worth to him for you to be forgiven. So that guilt doesn't need to own you anymore. That's what it was worth to him to be able to declare to you that heaven is your home. It's waiting for you, so that death and fear of death doesn't need to own you. Even if it afflicts you, it doesn't need to own you. That's what it was worth to him. To have you know that the sickness and the troubles and the things that cause you worry, while they impact you now, while they impact you here, they're not going to impact you there. They won't. They won't. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it. The world and all who live in it. And all, of course, means you. You belong to God. Rest well tonight, my friends.